What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Y'all know it's Monday. We got our guy Fiddle on the show, man. We're trying to get some cash, man, every day. You guys know how it is, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hope everybody had fun watching the Super Bowl, man. Whatever you guys did this weekend. Hope you guys out there living healthy, working out, exercising, drinking water, all that good stuff. Fiddle, what's up with you, my brother? You like you've been exercising, drinking water, going on your daily walks, all that good stuff. What's up with you, brother?
I am very, very, very health conscious. I do things like I eat sea moss, I drink matcha, I avoid sugar. That's why my skin's so great. No, I'm kidding. I'm doing well. Super Bowl was good. This week in the NBA is going to be nice to get some time off with the All-Star break. Definitely do not bet anything on the 3-point competition. It is the dumbest thing you could bet in the world. So let's get some money before the break, then let's enjoy some time off, and then let's come back strong again after.
Bro, I don't think I've ever bet the 3-point contest or dunk contest. I don't think I've ever placed a bet in my whole life on anything All-Star weekend related. I know a few times I took some unders, some overs. One time I took like a cherry and under and stuff but just like a serious bet, not once. That's definitely always vacation time, man. I appreciate you for saying, but people are still going to do it, obviously.
Can I give the people a suggestion?
Go ahead.
So there's 16 participants between 3-point contest, dunk contest, skills contest. So you can find like you and 3 of your friends and have 4 people and just draft people. Just go in order. Draft. Oh, I'm going to take this guy for 3-point. Oh, I'm going to take this guy for the dunk contest, and draft all the competitors. And then if your drafted team of 4 happens to have a guy that wins the event, you get like $20 from your friends for that one. So you don't have to pay the vig to a sports book. You can still enjoy it with your friends. You can still have some money on it. You can have it be completely neutral where you're not getting completely ripped off with like an 18% market hold betting into the slam dunk contest. Like, just draft the people, take Mac McClung first, and then try and get a player in each contest. It could still be fun. You could still watch it. I mean, the names are a disaster this year of who's participating in the different events. So I would suggest not even watching it. But if you are, don't bet it with a sports book. Get some money on it with your friends.
I will not be. Well, I know the dunk contest for sure. I'm not watching that. I do usually like the 3-point contest. I'm sure my son's going to want to watch that, but there's no way in hell I'd watch the dunk contest. You couldn't pay me to watch it. All-Star game, I know they're doing a new format. I mean, you guys remember how the NFL Pro Bowl went? Like, come on, bro. If you don't think there's any defense in a regular game, I remember last time I'll say, Fiddle, I remember the All-Star game, man, used to be so nice. Like when you had guys like Kobe in there, they actually wanted to win. They wanted to prove something. I even remember when they did the All-Star game winner, whoever wins gets home court advantage in the finals. I remember that. You see what I'm saying? But let's talk about some games today, man. Enough of that. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to waste the people time. First game up. Guys, we're going to talk every game except for the game that's a G League game. That's the Hornets versus the Nets. So hope you guys understand. You know what I'm saying? Neither team wants to win that fucking game. There's no point of us watching it. There's no point of you watching it or betting it unless you like some props in that one. Let's get straight to it. Let's go over to the streets of Cleveland in this one. Cavs land 9.5 points at the house versus the Wolves in this one, Fiddle. Do have some info on Conley. He has a broken thumb and he has 2 broken fingers. So why it's not Anthony Edwards just I think he just kind of took a game off. So I do think that Ant plays in this one, but Conley legitimately has an injury. He has 2 broken fingers there. So don't be surprised if Conley's ruled out. I do expect Edwards to play in this line to go down. I do think the Cavs are the better team. Fiddle, what do you think about this one?
It's interesting you say you expect Edwards to play. Based on the line movement, I don't. Like, this line opened.
He might be out.
This line opened at Cavaliers -6 at some books and Cavaliers -7.5 at others. So to see it up to 9.5 now, I just only think there's some rumblings out there that he might not actually go. But I think at this point, there's no way to actually bet it. If Anthony Edwards is ruled out, you might see the total drop. It's at 230 right now. The total taking a lot of movement towards the over. It speaks volumes when the spread is going the way it is too. So like, they're pricing it, Ant is probably out, but also still pricing it as an over game. While Anthony Edwards shoots a high volume of threes, makes them at a good clip. He's shooting a ton. He's really spaces out the offense. He's obviously the engine for the Wolves offense. If Anthony Edwards misses and the line dips and you could play an over like 228, 227.5. I actually think that might be worth getting in on, but at current prices, I would stay away.
I want to say something, Fiddle, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is obviously me and you had like a little conversation before the show. I'm realizing that the NBA is like moving in a totally different direction than what I was used to and the way that I capped it. Something I really noticed lately, Fiddle, they know, like it used to be where legitimately no one knew if a player was in or out, right? Well, I'm not going to say nobody knew, but it wasn't in the market. Now, the first off, they already have the info before, like way before they tell us. Like you used to could get before it even comes. You know when Shams like made their deal and stuff with the sports books and stuff. You got LeBron deal with the sports books. Now when the guy is out, like you can look at it whenever you see that they're announced out. You look at the line; it's already taken off. It's like they give them the actual info first, and then they let someone say it. Which it used to be like that. Everyone would kind of sort of find out at the same time. You see what I'm saying? But I just wanted to know because there was a game the other day and I was like, all right, this player's out. Like we can tell with what they're doing. He wasn't officially announced out, but we could tell with the line, they already had the info. So I think that's something that's very interesting. There was a time that I capitalized a lot off of players being in or out where there was getting a better line or waiting and then getting more points, Fiddle. But I just wanted to make that, because like you said, in this one, it looks like he may be out based on a line move alone. Like way before we get any info, it's like they already know. So that was a great point by you, Fiddle.
Jay, can I speak to that real quick? Because I think it's an awesome discussion. I think people listening will actually enjoy this. It's called probabilistic modeling, where you're saying, okay, if Anthony Edwards is worth X amount of points and he's got an 80% chance of playing, then you could probabilistically model the what he's worth currently. And as that number changes, it goes. That's like the nerd version of it through like a complete numbers game. In practice, with how legal gambling has gotten, you can't imagine like somebody doesn't have some sort of source in there. And it's just like, I have some sources in some places, right? So it's just like, you might get a text now and then. There's somebody out there that's offering a trainer $1,000 to send a text message and let him know what you think the chances of Anthony Edwards are playing on.
That's a fact, man. I wish I had them people in my pocket, man, for sure. But no, that's definitely a good point there. CJ McCollum just got ruled out as well for the Pelicans there. But yeah, definitely they don't have a back-to-back or anything. But yeah, Edwards, I don't think he has a real injury, but Michael Conley does. So we'll see what happens in that one. I think Ant would play. He is the type of guy that would want to play every game possible. He is that type of guy, like one of the rare breeds in the NBA, where if he can play, he was even 70%, he's going to give it a go. So let's see what happens in that one. Like Fiddle saying, based on the line movement, maybe someone knows that he's out. Let's go over
Jay,
to the
wait, one more. Do you remember, sorry for holding us up, but do you remember the Donovan Mitchell thing in the last like 2 years? He tweets out hashtag let him know when he plays. And the books weren't catching on to this in the beginning. So you would get Donovan Mitchell listed as questionable. And then he would just tweet out hashtag let him know. And real people knew, oh, okay, Donovan's playing. Boom, let me hammer it. It was very, very actionable. Now, like literally it moves in reaction to the hashtag let him know tweet. And in between them, it's all probabilistically modeled out. So it's really hard to actually make that actionable. But yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. It's those angles are becoming weeded out with
that's a fact. And one last thing on this point. With the Cavs game, even if they've moved it already 3.5 points with the thinking that Edwards might be out, guess what? When he's actually ruled out, they're going to move the line even more. They're going to move it up another point and a half. That's the thing that's not fair, and also actually creates value for the other team. And psychologically, the team sees, oh, the best player's out. Now they're going to let their guard down. That's really the part that I can't get with, because it used to be, all right, let's smash this team, especially if you need a win. Let's smoke them by 30. Now it's, oh, we're not going to bring our best game, and we might even lose the game outright. That's the part that's really frustrated me, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's go over to the street to DC, Fiddle. Wizards getting 11.5 points at the house versus Spurs. Do you think Wemby goes crazy in this one?
Yes. I think this is a clear Spurs spot. I mean, the Wizards have ruled out a bunch of guys, and now they have like no Sarr, no Middleton, no Smart, no Brogdon. So you're going to be no Kuzma obviously anymore. You're going to be rolling out all of the rookies. The Wizards have played their rookies, I think, 1,500 more minutes than any other team in the league. So it's kind of hard to use models to price Wizards because they honestly keep developing as the season goes along. Like even Spurs, both of these teams are kind of difficult to price using priors because they continuously improve. And they're young guys who are developing in front of our eyes. But I do think this is a strong Spurs spot. I think they're going to play very fast. I think the pace should increase the variance in the game score, and therefore you could play into a long spread. It's 10.5 minus 115 at MGM. It's 11 minus 108 at DraftKings. I would think either of those are okay lines to play.
Yeah. Obviously, it's taking them a little time to get used to Fox. They were laying some crazy number versus the Hornets. And you can kind of see the sharp money coming in on that. And I believe that line was at 11.5. End up closing at 9.5. I started seeing the money line get hit, and I was like, "Damn!" People think that the Spurs might actually lose this game. And what do you know? I know Fox had like this incredible. He had this incredible shot, and then Bridges comes down and hits a three as well, and they end up winning the game outright. So. That was a crazy game right there. But like I said, they've lost 2 of their first 3 games with Fox. The first win, you could kind of argue that was a lucky win versus the Hawks as well, man. So Spurs definitely in need of a nice win. I mean, it's just what the doctor ordered up. It's like we're going to start calling some of these teams prescription teams, and the Wizards are they're a prescription team, man. It's what the doctor ordered up for Wemby Fox to get some like a practice type of game, man. So one of my guys, he liked Wemby over 24.5 points. I bet you that shit's at least then move to 25.5. But if there's no Sarr, no Valanciunas, Wemby should go crazy, even though he doesn't really live in the paint. Fiddle, has that line moved some?
Give me 1 second to check it. Just points, right? You could get 20. Yeah, the 24.5 is pinnacle. 24.5 minus 145 at BetMGM. That's very pricey. The best available line for it in terms of just pure value is 25.5 minus 104 at FanDuel.
Yeah. So he took 24.5 like minus 114 or some shit. So you know how they do it. They start juicing it to the over. You probably had to just take 25.5, but I can see Wemby going for 30 here. Problem is you don't know if Fox or Wemby's gonna go crazy, but I can see Wemby having a great game, and shit, both of them might go for 20, 26, 27 points. I could definitely see it in this one. But with lean Spurs, it's a huge number, but I mean they're going up against a G League squad, man. They're going up against a G League squad. Spurs are nothing. Wemby points, all that good stuff. Also, I think Chris Paul's been going under his assists lately with Fox out there, and it makes a ton of sense, right? They might start them together and kind of toggle them, but with Fox is out there, he has the ball in his hands a lot more than so I don't think the books have actually caught up to that just so far. Let's go over to the streets of Orlando here. Fiddle. Magic laying 5.5 points at the house versus the Hawks. Magic 2 straight wins. Are they back? They still don't have a point guard. So, I mean, this is still the same team that was struggling. Now, they play a lot better at the house, Fiddle. But are they back, or you think that they are still on the slide? And I want to say, Fiddle, I like the little trades that the Hawks did, man. I like those. I like you know what I'm saying? I like what they did over there, man. Them and the Heat as well. They added some very underrated guys over there, in my opinion.
So you think Karras and those guys play today? Niang plays today for the Hawks, and those are all active? I would assume so, given that we're a few days after the transactions have processed and they were healthy, so they should be good to go. Trae Young is currently probable. So I'm thinking, I like the Magic in this spot, Jay, but I'm thinking if Trae Young gets ruled in, maybe this dips to 5, and then you could play Magic at 5. So I don't think there's a reason to play Magic right now, but I do like the Magic in this spot.
Yeah, and also when players get to a new team, especially 3 players that's going to play a lot of minutes, it's going to take them time to get used to it. The Hawks have been horrible so they've been a lot better defensively since they swapped Clint Capella for Okongwu in the starting lineup. But like, what things are going well for them, and I guess I'm pretty sure they really wanted to trade Capella, but he didn't get traded, so he's still there. They got to move him back in the starting lineup. Okongwu is the type of guy that plays better off the bench. Like some players are just not great as a starter. He does well off the bench. Oh, we're gonna move him starting lineup. Oh, now we lost 5-6 straight games. We'll fucking move back to the old lineup, man. But I can't say I like Terrence Mann. He's a really great two-way player. Fiddle. But
you know, I hate that term. We can go. We can have an hour discussion about that dumbass term, two-way player. You know who the best two-way player in the league is? Jokic. I'll take him.
I like Terrence Mann. I like Karis LeVert. I'm sure these guys are gonna. Well, I know LeVert's gonna love Atlanta way more than Cleveland. Niang as well. They're gonna LeVert. Hopefully he doesn't drop off and start having too much fun because you go from Cleveland to Atlanta and you could get distracted. Let's just put it that way. But I really like LeVert. Really like Terrence Mann. Niang's not a bad guy. Three-point shooter. His defense is just ass, but Hawks could be totally different if they just move Capella back in the starting lineup, Okongwu off the bench. It's not fucking rocket science. I don't know. Maybe they're tanking, trying to lose on purpose. I don't know. I guess, maybe bet the Magic here. I don't have a good feeling. I hope
out tonight still, or is he back in?
I think he's bad. I know he was out for personal reasons. The last game he was on the bench. I think he went through practice yesterday. I think Capella is back healthy and back in. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's coming off the fucking bench. They've been horrible with I don't know. I can't explain it. Like they literally lost 6 straight games immediately after making the switch. But what the fuck do I know? Let's go over here to the streets of Miami here, Fiddle. I want to take heat here, Fiddle. And I know I'm not supposed to because the Celtics, I remember Tatum saying like it's like another home game when we play in Miami. Ever since them having battles and like losing to the Heat and like being number 1 seed and getting kicked out, like ever since then they damn near own Miami. They've won 8 of the last 9 matchups and 8 of the last 9 matchups versus Miami. Let's see, their last 4 games they've won in Miami and shit. Most of them were blowouts as well. Most of them were by double digits. Only one of them was a 4-point game. 2 things here, Fiddle. If we're following the patterns here for both teams, the Heat are on this pattern where they win one, lose one, win one, lose one. They lost the last one to the Nets of all people. Also, point for Miami. We hear Tyler Hero saying, "Hey, we got new energy now." We know once Butler was out, now they got new energy. And also another team that got 3 great players back in return as well. Like the Heat got better overnight, in my opinion, man. Adding Wiggins over there, you add another versatile defender. Who else did they add over there, Phil? They added Wiggins, they added Davion Mitchell, hell of a defender. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo. I mean, you never know what you'll get from him, but they got a lot deeper, man. Really like the addition of Wiggins. They've been playing Khalil Ware a lot more. He's been giving them something. And then also on the Celtics, I mean, we've literally been talking about it all season, Phil, and it's been coming to fruition. They do not cover back-to-back games, just even off of a win. They're the worst team in the league at covering that next game. But even off a cover, Fiddle, they have not covered back-to-back games since the first couple games of the season. Like some patterns are just
stat.
Bro, it's hard to ignore because it's like you think this is the Celtics, one of the best teams. This is the only team in the league, Fiddle, with top 5 offense, top 5 defense. They're BSing around the season, still 37-16. They do not cover back-to-back games, bro. It's crazy. And even off a win, worst team in the league at covering the spread the next game. These are just the patterns. Coming off a huge game versus New York, now they go down to Miami. I know they hate Miami. They love playing Miami. You Tatum, Brown on the injury report. Line is moving back up though, Fiddle. What do you think about this one?
So it's so much injury report related, right? So Brown and Tatum missed shoot around. They're both questionable. Drew Holiday is out. Porzingis and Derek White are in. Those are like the main guys that we know about. We just had Tyler Hero get listed as questionable with an illness. So that's why it shifted a little bit. And Jaime Jaquez is ruled out. So It is so. If you don't know what Brown, Tatum, and Tyler Hero, this is why we have to go back. We need sources, Jay. We need to be able to text the people and find out who's actually playing in this game so that we could figure it out. I have no realistic betting angle. I see B Daddy in the chat he wants like some Wiggins props. I think rebounds is the direction for Wiggins to go because he was so good in Golden State when he was slashing in from the wing and being like someone to crash the offensive glass. And in a game against the Celtics where you're probably going to have a high volume of threes in both directions, you're going to look for longer rebounds. So I prefer Wiggins over 4.5 rebounds, which is plus 120. at Bet Rivers, plus 114 FanDuel. So I would rather look Wiggins in the prop market right now. I don't know how to bet the game, but also, Jay, I just got a text message from a professional poker player who's watching the stream right now and who said, tell Jay that Wemby 25 points is available at FanDuel at minus 125. So just wanted to go back in time real quick because we mentioned that 24.5 versus 25 and 25.5 was there. If you go into the derivative market where you just go X plus points, you just go to the 25 plus points, you can get that for minus 125, which is essentially playing the 24.5 at relatively a good price. And compared to the rest of the market, that is a good price. When you see it at minus 145 or you see the 25.5 at minus 105, it's worth it to pay the 20 cents for the point. So interesting. No real thoughts, Miami, Boston spread or total, but prop angles, Wiggins and Wemby.
Yeah, and if Wemby lands on 25, you'll be happy that you did that as well.
Exactly.
Which is very possible. I do think that Wemby goes for 25 tonight. And it's like going up against the Wizards, no bigs. Like, come on, man. Wemby's going for 25 tonight. I like that shit. I'm definitely probably hopping on FanDuel right when we get off this. I'm definitely like Wemby 25 plus. Heat plus 6. Like I think this happens, man. I think this happens. This is what the patterns literally for both teams. They're coming off a 16-point loss versus a team they had no business losing to in the Brooklyn Nets. Nets don't even really want to win games right now. They only put up 86 points. The Heat are in a bounce back spot coming off that Nets game. They're also in a revenge spot. They've also been getting owned by the Celtics. The Celtics have been owning themselves in this particular situation. Come off of a big win. This is just a letdown spot, man. But definitely need to see what's up with Tatum and Brown. I think if just either one of them are out, I don't like the spot for the Celtics laying points with them on the road without one. I mean, Holiday is already one of their kind of like he's part of the big four. You can put it that way because Porzingis is part of the big three. But if Brown or Tatum are out, I can't be laying 6 with the Celtics, even if Hero is out, man. But I think Hero plays in this game, even if he got a little illness. They probably just manipulate. I think Heat are actually live to win this game outright, man. This game right here will tell me a lot about the Heat. I think them getting 6 at the crib. I know that the Celtics go to Miami and ball, but this year in this particular spot, they've shown that they're very vulnerable in this spot. I think Heat plus a 6 is the right side in this game. Let's go over here to OKC in this one, Fiddle. Thunder or nothing, especially without CJ McCollum. The Pelicans are seeing the writing on the wall. There's no point in trying to win games. You see CJ probably a healthy scratch. They're laying 17 now. I'm not a fan of these big numbers, but Thunder, like they play the same way all the time. That's the only thing you could ask for from a coach. They've won 8 straight versus the Pelicans. Like without CJ, they got nothing for him. No Murray, Thunder or nothing. Fiddle, what do you think?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. I mean, I really have no thoughts on this game.
I got you.
The total has been moving towards the under, but that's really it.
You can't spell Thunder without the under. What's Pelicans team total under?
I can look that up for you if you give me a second.
The Thunder should lock these boys down tonight, man. If I was betting the under, I'd go ahead and bet Pelicans team total under. So based on the line, it should be 113. Let me see.
Team total 108.5 minus 106. You want the under, right? You want the best under line?
Yeah.
108.5 minus 104 towards the under at FanDuel.
Yeah. I take Pelicans team total under there.
Shout out FanDuel. We're coming for you right now.
Yeah, that's a fact. I don't think the Pelicans see 105 here. They might not even score 100 points in this game, man. That's something I've been doing with these tanking teams that's missing a ton of offense and also going up against another good defensive team. They just smother them. Like the offense just really struggles. I've been doing this with the Nets. I've been doing it with the Wizards sometimes. Maybe even the Jazz, but the Pelicans are going to turn into one of those teams. You're going to sit CJ, you're going to sit Zion, people like that. All right. Team total under. So that's what I would take in this one before I would lay the points. But if I was betting the spread, could only look towards the Thunder in this one. Let's go over here to the streets of Milwaukee in this one. Fiddle. Bucks coming off of a huge win without Giannis. He's going to be out through the All-Star break, man. After the All-Star break, that's usually when teams like, all right, shit's serious now. That's when the playoffs start for some teams. I can't wait until after the All-Star break. But when does the All-Star break start, Fiddle? We got like a few more days, right? Till Thursday?
Thursday there's a few games. Friday, Saturday, Sunday there's the
Gotcha.
All-Star activities,
Can't
and then
wait.
there's no games that resume until the following Thursday. So a full week off for the league. I'll be going to Florida. You're invited to come with me, and we're going to be
Yeah.
enjoying some time off.
Okay. Bart Scott, can't wait till
Can't wait.
Thursday, man. Can't wait. What part of Florida? I got a homie out there in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, that's exactly where I'm going.
Damn. All
I'm
right.
going for my grandpa's 95th.
I might have to roll up to that. Might have to roll up that joint. See what I'm saying? Fiddle, what are you doing here? I think I have the Warriors socks on. I think this is a Warrior spot. I think that the league has helped out the Warriors. I think there's I'm trying to figure out who is not going to make the playoffs. I think there's a very strong chance that the Warriors make a surge in the standings to possibly get in position where they can make the playoffs. They missed the playoffs last year. I think we're getting Jimmy over there. If they could stay healthy, I think there's a very strong chance that they might bump out some teams and make the playoffs this year. But after all saying all that, I think they win this game. I think they go on a little streak. And I think that the Bucks just come off of a win where they got without Giannis. Now Dame, right hamstring soreness. He's probably not playing in this game, Fiddle. I think this is a Warrior spot. League's going to help him out. Steph, one of the faces of the league. They don't want this team to miss the playoffs back-to-back years, man. Warriors get the win. I don't know about how many points, but I definitely think they get the win here tonight in Milwaukee. Bucks on a back-to-back, all this shit. What do you think in this one?
So the Bucks have been playing really well despite being shorthanded, and the Warriors themselves have a clear talent advantage, but are integrating new pieces and whatever. So I think the spread is very fairly priced as a 7 on the road. I like the under in this spot. I'm looking at the board now. 230.5 is widely available. FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, Bet365. Obviously, just place it with FanDuel because we're coming for them today. If we get Dame out, and we got Connaughton on the injury report, we get Brook Lopez on the injury report, but if we get Dame out, then this is going to drop even further. And Curry's questionable too. I mean, I think Curry's going to play, but this number still has room to go if Dame's not going to be out there. You look towards yesterday's game, and now Bucks are on the second night of a back-to-back, right? After having a day game yesterday, which was very high-paced against the 76ers. And you heard Dame and Giannis in the postgame. I mean, Dame and Doc Rivers in the postgame. Doc went up to Dame before the game started and said, I need you to lead the team in points and assists today. And they just put a ton of usage on Dame. His usage rate was incredibly high. His pace was incredibly high. So I'm looking at this. It's like he's probably not going to go because this is like your classic spot. You got an underdog win. You're approaching All-Star break. You have your other star player out. The team's been rolling. So I actually don't think Dame plays tonight. And he's probably one of the biggest over players in the league because he shoots threes. He's a cone on defense. He pushes the pace. Right. So I could beat Dame off the dribble, and I can't even dribble. So I like the under. I still think there's room to go. I think it could close like 228.5.
I'd have to ride with you here, man. I can't talk you off. When I saw this line yesterday as Warriors 6.5, I said this line saying that the Warriors like cover the spread. Literally, I mean the line looks fishy as hell. I don't care if Giannis is out. The Warriors are laying 6.5 points in Milwaukee. Like this line tells us alone that this is a Warrior spot here. And that, I mean, Dame probably sitting there. Even before he was on the injury report, the line was already 6.5. So the line alone tells me that this is a Warrior spot. They might win this game by double digits. I'd be looking, I mean, Warriors in the order under are probably correlated in this one as well. Because the Bucks probably barely score. If Dame sits, they might not score. They might not get to 105 in this one. So I'm saying it could be like this could be a 120-105 type of game, man. So
exactly,
I see the Warriors putting their foot on their necks. I really think this team. I mean, sometimes the NBA just helps teams out. They want to see certain superstars do well. You see it with the Lakers. You see it with the Warriors. You see it with the Spurs. Like they're going to help Wemby out. They need he makes a lot of money for the league, man. They need the Spurs to be good. They need the Lakers to be good. They need the Warriors to be good. And in the playoffs, and their run starts here, man. I think Warriors in the under is the spot here, Fiddle. I don't know if they want the Mavs to be good. I mean, shit. I don't know what to do with this game, Fiddle.
I don't know if the Mavs fans want the Mavs to be good anymore.
No, that's a fact. No, I'll tell you this. And it's really bad. Me and my homie had a real nice laugh about this, man. We watching the game like AD going stupid. He's going crazy in the first half and really had a chip on his shoulder. And then my guy just went out. So people were gonna make fun and say, "Oh, you guys lost trade. We knew it was a dumb trade." Even if he got hurt 2, 3, 4, 5 games into it. But the first game is just like there was no way that it wasn't at least a little bit hilarious. I'm one of the guys that think AD is a much better fit. He makes their defensive ceiling much higher. And if he can still give them the same thing on offense, you know what I'm saying? Like, he gets to play the forward. Like, AD came in like, all right, everybody want to talk shit. We lost a trade. He came in balling. He has to stay healthy for it to even be an equal trade. So now he's out. Obviously, people are like, they're like, this is why you shouldn't have done this shit. So it is what it is. We know he's made of glass. He's out for some weeks, man, possibly even a month. It really hurts because I think he could have really changed that Mavs team. Y'all, he went out there and smacked the Rockets, man, like with ease in the first half. Fiddle, he was going crazy, and then he did get hurt. As to this game, I don't know. The Kings are behind them in the standings, so it's a big game for them. I still think that the Mavs are a better team. They got better pieces, a more cohesive team offensively. Max Christie going up against his dad. Great angle and Nelwyn, man, but I don't know what to do with
That's
this.
not actually his dad, right?
Yeah, Max Christie is Doug.
I don't think he's Doug. I don't think he's Doug Christie's son.
Bro, that's his son. You tripping. Max Christie is Doug Christie's son. Are you smoking, Phil? Or are you high?
His dad is Max Sr., who played Parkland College and was and is an aircraft pilot.
Doug Christie's not. Okay, well, shit. Tell me something wrong. I really thought that was his dad, but
that's like Miles and
not related
when
at
I
all.
found out that Miles and Mikal Bridges are not related.
I knew they wasn't fucking related.
Yeah, I know.
Really
at this
Doug
point,
Christie
I know. But like
Max
earlier in
Christie's
their
son.
careers, when they were both emerging, and you had two Miles and Mikal, and the names were very similar in Bridges, and they played the same, and they had pretty similar builds, and they played the same position. They both made the league. I was like, these guys are related, and I made the same mistake. No, Max Christie is not Doug Christie's son. But speaking of siblings in the NBA, a guy who's been really impressing me is Keaton Wallace, the brother of Cason Wallace, who's on the Hawks now. I was watching the Hawks game the other day. I was like, is that Cason Wallace's brother, Wallace, right there? And it was. I looked it up, and this guy's
just learned something new.
Yeah,
just learned something new. What do you think about this game? Christie's actually done really well Max Christie's done really well so far. I think he's hit 3 or 4 threes in back-to-back games for the Mavs.
Yeah, he's playing great, and I think he shows up in front of his father. No, I'm kidding. I think PJ Washington is a big key to this game. He's currently questionable. He's so important to having an extra guy to throw at Sabonis or throw at DeRozan or Keegan Murray and grab some rebounds and help space the offense. This Mavericks team is playing really like beautiful basketball. Like, as much as losing Luka hurts, it's probably more aesthetically pleasing to watch this version of the Mavericks basketball without as high as they're just play so good with the motion and the passing.
They play freely. There's no dribble, step back three.
Yeah,
and you don't see as much crying to the refs.
I think there's a sentiment to want to back the Kings right now because of the AD stuff that affects the pricing, because of PJ Washington, because the Luka stuff. But it's really hard to fade this Mavericks team. They're definitely at talent deficiency compared to the Kings right now, but Kings are figuring out how to reintegrate Levine with DeRozan. They're trying to figure out who's their go-to guy in the clutch. Can Malik Monk be a full-time starting point guard? So a completely new coach to try and figure that all out. So it's tough to back the Kings right now. It's been a King spot. So I'm Mavericks or nothing here, and I'm probably nothing.
Yeah, Mavs are nothing. They do have revenge. Like I said, I mean, they're definitely going to need PJ Washington. I didn't even know he injured his ankle. I know he just had a baby, and that's why he was out recently. But they're going to need PJ Washington for sure. They even have Max Christie as game time decision and Dante Exum as well. I'm expecting both those guys. They're going to need all three of them to play, man. But it's definitely a hit after just getting AD, seeing him ball out. Huge win over the Rockets, where everybody was fading the Mavs and no one. But they're going to need PJ Washington, Exum, and Christie, and it's still going to be a tight game. So if AD was in this one and the line was 2.5, I'd have 5 figures on the Mavs in this one. But I'm off this game, man. I have nothing. Let's go to the streets of Denver in this one, man. Nuggets land 9.5 at the house versus the Blazers. Fiddle. Blazers got off their streak the last game. No Conley or Anthony Edwards had a 13-point lead at the half and then let the Wolves come all the way back and end up covering their spread, man. Crazy game. I like the Blazers in L, and that was a tough one for sure. For whatever reason, the teams I've been taking lately will get up 13 points and they'll just piss that shit away. 13, 15 points. And then before you know it, they're not even covering the spread, man. It's absolutely sickening. But what do you think about this game?
Dude, I'm dealing with that shit so much right now. My team has a 13-point lead late. It's
with like 8 minutes.
There's 4 minutes to go. I'm sitting on a -3. They end up losing outright. She's like, what the fuck happened? Over and over.
To me all
last week,
that
happened bro. 3 days in a row last week.
Me too. We probably was on the same shit.
We was on the same smart minds think alike.
But I got my ass handed to
me. Me too.
Can the Blazers keep that mojo going here, or do the Nuggets just smack them up?
Nuggets probably smack them up, but I don't want to play either side of this. Altitude at home for the Nuggets going into the break, the riding high, everyone wanting to buy high on the Blazers. People don't realize Nuggets are also one of the teams that are playing best since the Blazers have really come out. Like if we go back to the start of 2025, like you'll see Nuggets probably a top 5 team, offense and defense, like truly looking like a contender. And then you look at Blazers are playing great, Pacers are playing great, Lakers are playing great right now. So there's a lot of teams that are playing well, but like don't let the Nuggets not be listed with the Blazers, who have teams who are playing fantastic basketball right now. So I think it's very well priced. There's some injuries that are popping up. It's making the total drop a little bit. I wouldn't be opposed to a late over and saying, okay, I see the injuries dropping the number, but I want to kind of fade that because the pace is still going to be so high. So I think you could play into a late over here. But aside from that, small bets, if anything, this is a pretty priced out spot.
Who's out for this one?
Westbrook's out. So
okay. I saw that.
Nuggets are missing a few guys. I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, they've won 6 straight, covered 4 straight. They actually lost to the Blazers earlier this season, December 19, 2024. Lost as 8-point favorites. That's when the Nuggets obviously weren't playing well. The Blazers beat them outright, 126-124. The Nuggets have beaten them 8 of the last 10 times. For whatever reason, the Blazers have actually done well against the spread versus the Nuggets, man. 5-4-1 against the spread last 10 games. So, but you definitely made a great point. Nuggets have been riding high. They play better at the house. This is the first of a little duplex spot. They play again versus the Blazers again at the house on the 12th as well, man. So definitely, not betting against the Nuggets here. They could stomp on the Blazers if they wanted to. I could also see if it was a game where the Blazers kept it close but lost. But yeah, I don't have a good feel for this game, man.
Jay, it's Michael Porter Jr., Jeremy Grant, Chris Murray, Robert Williams are all questionable. Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon are probable. So like if MPJ misses, you're going to be missing a shooting element for Denver, and the number's going to drop. I would go reverse the steam and play a late over there because the pace is going to be so high.
Okay. Yeah, Robert Williams, he's been game time decision his whole fucking career, man. Last game, man. I kind of have a good look for this one. Not really. Like I can't bet it. I don't think all the season I've been like, you know what? I want the fucking Jazz. We're betting the Jazz here. I don't think I could even say that confidently. I agree where the line is going, though, man. This line was at 14.5. It's coming down to 12.5, Fiddle. I think some sharps are hopping on this one thinking, and this is the whole game right here, Fiddle. If the Jazz don't, this is so fucked up. The Jazz don't have a bad team. They don't have a bad coach. They just don't want to win this year. As you can see it. Remember, they sat Colin Sexton out for a whole week. They're resting guys like Lauri Markkanen, Kessler, John Collins. They'll do this shit on purpose. If you really look at the Jazz squad and you look at like their coach and how he was coaching them last year, the Jazz could actually be like a team that's like one of the 11th best. I know that's a straight statement, but they could like be in the play-in tournament if they wanted to. But they Cooper flag. They want flag, I guess, Fiddle. But I said all that to say if they played their guys, I can see them keeping this game within double digits, especially if it's Luka's first game. You got 3 ball-heavy guys out there, LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves in their first game trying to figure it out and laying double digits. I think Luka plays, but I would need Lauri Markkanen, Sexton, all of them motherfuckers. You need all of them in there for you to try and jump with the Jazz here. You see what I'm saying? But if they played, I think they could match up well versus the Lakers, at least for his first game. I wouldn't agree. Well, you know, Fiddle, right? And integrating a new player like Luka, you can't be laying big numbers. I mean, it's not the Wizards. The Jazz are a little bit better team than the Wizards. So I said I like to say if the Luka plays and then everybody plays for the Jazz, I actually think that taking them plus the double digits might not be a bad look, Fiddle. What do you think?
I completely agree. Like, you have to think about the Lakers right now. The Mark Williams trade falling through, it really impacts the way that this roster is properly set up. Like, they're going to be a team that needs to go into the buyout market and find some sort of big. Like, they're going to have to find somebody to get behind Jackson Hayes as their starter. And now you have a game where you're going against Kessler, Collins, Markkanen. Jay, all of them are in. None of them are listed on the injury report. Yes, all of them are in. Sexton is out. I don't want to make that clear.
I need him. Fuck. I need everybody.
But Keontae George, Clarkson, all Kessler, Markkanen,
Collier hasn't been playing bad either.
They're all in. I mean, with that guy Isaiah Collier, we talk about.
We went to USC too.
Hey, we get Bronny versus Isaiah Collier.
Yeah.
Old teammates.
Collier.
Now
I used to watch USC. I was like, where Bronny at? Why he ain't doing shit? Collier was the one that was balling.
Yeah, he was a high-level prospect.
Yeah, he was hooping for USC. Y'all like, where Bronny at? Where he at? But you're right, bro. Ain't nobody on injury report. I need Luka in.
Yeah,
I need Luka in.
Bronny
James. Bronny is game time decision. Kind of doubtful.
That's a big one. I mean, he's worth probably 4 points to a spread. He's so important.
No, Luka plays. I think I don't know why, man.
Luka plays, the spread's 13.5. Take the A. Hey, can I get you to say it one time without the J?
The ass are 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games versus the Lakers. They faced them on December 1st and lost by 1 point in Utah. They faced them on November 19th and lost by 6 in LA and on a 10.5 point spread as well. Lakers are hot. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. They've covered 5 straight games, and pretty much the Hornets game, depending on the line you got, it was 5.5 and 4.5. But they're kind of 9-1 or 8-2 against the spread, depending on what line you got in their game. Lakers have actually been playing really good. No one wants the Jazz here. Nobody's looking towards, let me tell you, except for sharp bettors.
This line open at sharp spot. As
line
pros versus Joe as it comes.
This line opened at 14.5, and so I'm like, Luka's first game, like, I want the Jazz here. I do. And I look at this morning, it's 12.5. I agree where this shit's going, but Luka comes in, it's going up 13.5, 14, and then even more money is going to pile in on the Lakers. I really feel like this might be a spot for the Jazz to lose this game, but to keep it close, my guys, as well, man. So, but you need Luka coming in there just to kind of disrupt some things, man, just to disrupt the offensive flow, get integrated. They're not going to lose the game, but like asking them to win by 14, 15 points in this particular spot, I would not bet it in this one, man. I think the Jazz are the right side in this one, Fiddle. Let's get up out of here, my brother. We talked about plenty of things. It's a great show as always, man. I'm not lying to you, Fiddle. I don't really enjoy like talking basketball that much anymore. But when you come on the show, like it takes me back to when like I've had other guys on the show. We had really great chemistry and really had great conversations about the game. I could do a fucking show with you. Like I could probably do a show with you 5 days a week, 3 days a week at the minimum, man. So that's how much I fucks with my guy Fiddle, man. I don't know if I can get out there to Florida, but like don't get it twisted. I would love to, man. I don't know. I might try, man. But what are you liking on today's card, Fiddle?
Well, thank you for the kind words. I completely share the sentiment. I love talking ball with you, and more so than other people, because I love where our opinions kind of mesh together and where we differentiate, and then we like to talk shit to each other when we do differentiate. All in good love, and we try and make money together, us versus the bookies. I like the under in Bucks Warriors. I like the Jazz. You could get a plus 13, minus 112 at Bet Rivers. I think we threw out a few props throughout the show, whether it was Wemby's 25 or whether it was Wiggins on the rebounds 4.5. I like the Spurs minus 10.5 at BetMGM right now. So I think this is a strong card. I think there's a lot of spots that we could look for. We've had some very successful Mondays. Let's have another one. Let's get it.
Let's have another one. Yeah, what sticks out to me is Wemby, 25 plus points. That would also mean that the Spurs smashed the Wizards as well. But for whatever reason, I feel more comfortable with the win be 25 plus points. Heat plus the 6. I think that's a possible spot where the Heat might even win their game outright. That's literally just following the patterns on both teams, the Heat and the Celtics right now. And I think if Brown or Tatum are out, one or the other, I think that'll make that spot even stronger. And then Warriors, I'm feeling Warriors. Fiddle's feeling the under it now, and I think they could possibly be correlated. And then in the last game, probably the ugliest dog on the board. It's something to note when the Jazz are playing their guys. They at least want to be competitive versus the top teams. When they're playing the trash team, that's like when they're going to rest everybody and literally try to lose the game on purpose. Lauri Markkanen came out and said, I hate it. I can't stand it. We're a professional basketball team. We're supposed to be competitors, and you're sitting us, and we're not even injured. So just keep in mind for that, man, for the next few years in the NBA, these teams doing this. Like some teams literally before the season, like, yep, we don't want to win. We want to tank before the season even starts, man. And Lauri Markkanen sees it. He probably won't be in Utah too much longer. If they get flat, he like, I don't like that shit. It really rubbed him the wrong way. But for tonight, they might play this shit like it's a playoff game, man. I think the Jazz plus some points, man, could potentially be a really solid look, especially if Luka makes his debut tonight for the Lakers, man. Shout out to everybody watching the show, man. So I know I've been really inconsistent. Got a lot of shit going on, man. We're gonna me and Fiddle gonna get together. We're gonna make something happen, man. I'm definitely gonna figure out what I'm gonna do for the future. I know things will be a lot more apparent after the All-Star break, but figuring out what I'm gonna do. But we'll be back, man. I know after All-Star break, I'll definitely be on it for sure. But after this season, there'll definitely be some talks to see what's going on, man. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate my guy Fiddle, man. I appreciate everyone that watches this show going over to watch his show as well, man. He's a really great mind, really great basketball show, sharp betting show with our guy Ranting Johnson, professional poker player. So make sure y'all go follow Fiddle, man, at Fiddle's Picks Monday through Friday. He's doing the early NBA show over there on Twitter and on his what's the YouTube channel called, my guy?
The Advantage Sports Betting Show. I don't know. It's linked in my Twitter bio as well.
You forgot the name, bro.
It's the Advantage Sports Betting. If you just look up the Advantage Sports Betting, you'll find it. But I don't know if we turned it YouTube. It's like a podcast that named it show or whatever. But we're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Myself, 5 days a week. I have a professional poker player join me, Drew Johnson, 3 or 4 days a week. We're going to be adding in a Sunday show now that football's over and going live like 30 minutes before that 1:30 game starts. So yeah, check it out. I would appreciate it.
Yeah, and
obviously
I do want to say
with Jay Money as long as he's bringing you this stuff too.
I can't wait for this is the spot that I couldn't wait for. Football's over. Now you're going to have a lot of people that bet football and going to come and bet these square sides. So I do think there's maybe finally time for the sharps to be back in the NBA. That's because a lot of people are coming over from football. Now there are folks on betting the NBA. Don't really know it, so they're going to be betting the easy spots. I think there's going to be value on some of these sharp spots, man. But we'll see, especially after All-Star break. That's when the playoffs really start for a lot of teams, guys. So shout out to everybody that's watching the show. It's all love, man. Still hit the like button. Go follow my guy Fiddle as well, and we'll get some things figured out. But for today, let's take the bookies to Smack City one time for one time. Y'all have a great day, man. Be safe out there. Be healthy. Health is wealth. And we out.